Okay.
Hey, so the phone works.
Okay.
I'm just.
But your radio doesn't.
But the radio doesn't. Isn't that something?
Yeah, womp womp.
Womp womp. Let's get something straight right out of the gate. This is my personal opinion based on my own testing, and legally, I have every right to share what I experienced. I paid $439 of my own money. Nobody paid me to say anything, and I'm not here to sugarcoat a damn thing. Here's what comes in the box: the radio, a USB charger, a cable, a wrist strap, and a SIM card. That's it. No manual, no printed setup guide. Just a follow-up email telling you to click a link and enter your personal cell phone number to program the device. Which is strange considering they claim these radios work right out of the box and don't rely on cellular networks. Spoiler alert, they do. They market this thing as better than your cell phone. Really? One has full GPS, text, maps, SOS, emails, and who knows what else on your cell phone. The other is just a glorified walkie-talkie that chokes in dead zones and only works when there's a freaking cell tower in sight. I'm going to show you what happened when I took this device across 3 states, Nevada, Arizona, and Utah, through places where I know for a fact there's no cell service. I tested in canyons, deserts, forests, and remote highways. The results? Let's just say this device doesn't live up to a fraction of the marketing hype. If you're thinking of buying one of these, do yourself a favor. Watch this video first. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button. Let's get going. Natural disaster, hurricanes, tornadoes, severe weather conditions, power outages. I got Rapid Radio to the rescue. Radio check. What do you think? What's happening? 3 and 4 states testing this device here. And all you got to know is if I had cell service, this worked. Within 30 feet, this piece of shit don't work for $439. These things in a long, ow, he just bit me. You gotta have a 1-year contract with Rapid Radios. After 1 year, you gotta renew it. If you don't renew it, it don't work no more. I'm heading to Flagstaff right now. I am going to the Overland Expo West. I'm communicating with my wife at home. I bought 2 of these radios. They're about almost a little over $400 for these things, and it makes me mad. All right, shit. I got T-Mobile over here, and I got Verizon right here. First test, Rapid Radios. We're 26 miles out from home, but we still have cell service in the area. Radio check. Radio check.
Check, hear you loud and clear.
We're about 50 miles from home without any line of sight. I have power lines around me. So, okay, here we go. Let's just radio check. Radio check. Radio check. Here's the reality. No bars, no signal. This is where it matters. I test the radio and nothing. Dead, just like I expected. Rapid radios don't work unless they're piggybacking off a cell network. So what are you actually buying? A low-grade walkie-talkie with a SIM card and a marketing team. That's it. I ain't get nothing. Okay, we're 120 miles out from home. We're going to do a radio check. Radio check, Kingman, Arizona.
Copy that.
10-4. All right, we're gonna do a radio check. We got no cell service. So, all right, radio check. We're 160 miles. Radio check, radio check. According to Rapid Radios, their device uses advanced tower bouncing technique and works without cell service. Sounds great. Problem is, it's pure bullshit so far. 200 plus miles. Radio check.
Check, I hear you.
10, 4. Okay, so these only work, well, so far. They only work with self-service. Radio check.
I hear you loud and clear.
All right, we're doing another check-in with Rapid Radios. We've gone 306 miles. I'm at my destination. I will end up camping here tonight. I'm going to do a radio check-in with Rapid Radios. We got 1 bar for Verizon. Radio check.
Loud and clear.
10-4. Right here is where it really matters. This is reality. No bars, no signal. This is where it matters, where your life is on the line. I test the radio and... All right. I'm stranded. I'm in a canyon. The highway is 3 miles away. And my cell phone is not working to get in touch with my loved ones. So I got Rapid Radio here to the rescue. This is what it says on Rapid Radio's website. Will this work in an area with no cell coverage? And they say it will work better than a cell phone. That's for sure. We use all the carriers, not just one like a phone. Plus, it's a different technology than a phone. What the hell does that mean? Different technology than a phone? LTE? It has a SIM card. Oh, these guys are idiots. They don't need cell service in order to get in touch with your loved ones. So let's try this out. Radio check. Radio check. Can you hear me? It's on, right? Radio check. Radio check. It's interesting. This is what's coming up. Let me get in the shade here. Ain't that something? Look, for some odd reason, this is not working. Rapid radios do not work unless you're within an area that has a cell tower. So even if the cell towers are down, there is no network system, these will not work. Period. Radio check, radio check. You know why I know it's not going to work? Because my Verizon cell service is not working. They asked for my cell number. Why would you do that? Why would you ask for my cell phone number if it's not connected to my network? Very interesting, ain't it? So what does this mean? Cellular number input. If you have to input your cell number or give them your cell phone number, it's likely that they're using some kind of cellular over IP, or as in this case, a SIM card linked to your service. So basically it's piggybacking on your existing network. Like for mine, it's Verizon. That's not a radio. In traditional sense, it's a cellular device disguised as a radio. If they truly use towers without a SIM or a carrier contract, it would be a major FCC issue. And let's talk about this special technology, bouncing off cellular towers. Radios don't bounce off towers unless they're using cellular devices. So this whole special tech line is probably crap. They're either using voice over IP or push to talk over LTE. meaning your device becomes dependent on a cellular signal and service plans even if it's hidden. Now, here's the whole fact about hidden charges. You have to have a 1-year contract at $50 per radio in order for these devices to work. So they have to keep that SIM card active. And of course, they're in control of that SIM card even though it's attached to your cell number. So all of this whole thing, privacy red flag. Why do they need your number for a supposedly independent two-way radio? It's either a clever way to route calls through your existing cell data plan or a sketchy move to build a user's profile for later monetization. If your life is in danger and you can't get a hold of somebody, but yet you relied on these rapid radios because they told you that you don't need any type of cell service to get in contact with your loved ones. Well, guess what? They're lying to you. And once we get on the top up here, my cell phone will get service again and it'll work. Okay, we're gonna do a radio check. We've been hiking around for about an hour. I was down in this canyon. I tested rapid radios down there and it did not work. No service. So now that I'm back up, which my cell phone should be getting cell service right now. So let's see. Radio check. Nope. You cannot be hidden away from sight, line of sight, technically line of sight. You need to have line of sight of a cell tower. That's exactly what you need. That is the issue. So rapid radios really does not work unless you have line of sight of a cell tower. Now I'm up. I see a cell tower over there. I see a cell tower over there. Okay, here we go. Radio check.
Yes, I can hear you.
There you go. Confirmed. You gotta have cell service in order for these radios to work. They do not work if there's no cell tower in sight. None. Yes, helicopter.
Did you hear my reply?
I did 10-4. There was a helicopter flying over.
Okay, now you're clear.
So I'm finding out you gotta have line of sight of cell tower. So as soon as I came out of this canyon, Diablo, I see a cell tower and the radio worked immediately.
Okay, is it windy now?
Yes, the wind is blowing.
Okay, what I hear the most of is the wind over your talking.
Shitty radio. Technically, crappy mics, the sound. I don't know if you can hear it. It's okay. This 10-4. I'm not done. This is only day one of using this radio. Day one, $439 that cost me for 2 radios with 2 SIM cards and an IMEI number and a 1-year contract. In order for that IMEI, that SIM card to work, you got to have a 1-year contract with Rapid Radios. After 1 year, you got to renew it. If you don't renew it, it don't work no more. Is this worth the money? No. You're just paying for another service. That's all you are. And what does it do for you? Zero. Why do I say zero? Look at, right now, I'm in the middle of nowhere, right? And you know what? That's working. Well, so does my cell phone. Okay.
Hey, babe.
Hello. I'm just checking to make sure my cell phone works.
Yes.
Okay. Love you. There you have it. Gotta have cell service. So, So as long as I can see that cell tower straight out there, I don't know if you can see it, but there's a cell tower straight ahead. Let's just do this. Let's go down while I have you. We're gonna walk 20 feet, well, more than that. Let's just walk. You can see my distance, okay? Let's get out of sight of the towers. I can still see that one over there. Okay. All right. So that's it. Check, check. Can you believe that? I just walked literally, I don't know what that is, 30 feet from right there. Can you see that? Tell me you can see that. From right up here on those rocks to right here, not that far, did I just walk down. Radio check. And nothing. The radio's not working. Let's do this again. Okay? We're just, look, see my car? Or I'm sorry, my 4Runner right there is my 4Runner. Right? You can see my 4Runner right there. Right there. There's my 4Runner. So we can see that. The cell tower is just over there, and that other cell tower is right at the top of this. So let's walk up here. All right, wait. Radio check, radio check, radio check, radio check. Okay. Radio check, nothing works. So I don't want to stop recording because I want you to see this and what the difference is. As soon as I see this cell tower, I'm going to point it to you so you can see it. There it is, right there, right in front of us. Right in front of us. Okay, ready? Radio check. Is that insane?
You were broken up.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. All good. Just doing the testing.
And 4.
It doesn't matter what I do. 10 feet. You see something shiny over there. Huh. Well, regardless, I just walked right here to right here. Within 30 feet, this piece of shit don't work for $439. It's gotta have line of sight of a cell tower. Man, that pisses me off. Ah, it makes me mad. All right. Shit. All right. Let's talk about how shitty these radios are. I literally just had to call my wife to communicate with her in regards to what's going on. Because you can't understand a word you say with these things. Like, it's just junk. For the price you pay for them, you might as well use your cell phone, because that's all it is. It's a cell phone, but in a walkie-talkie form. And the walkie-talkie form is a piece of crap. Okay, we are in the backcountry, 525 miles of dirt roads. Well, not really dirt roads, just traveling. And we're gonna do a radio check. Radio check. Check, check, check. Nothing. Radio check. Radio check. You know why? Because there's no cell service. So let's do something here. Let me make a phone call. Let's see if my phone will work. Check, check, check. My wife has this. So let's call her.
Okay.
Hey, so the phone works.
Okay.
I'm just,
But your radio doesn't.
but the radio doesn't. Isn't that something?
Yeah, wah wah.
Wah, wah, wah.
Let
Okay.
me see. Are you there?
Nope, nothing coming through.
No beep?
Nope.
You can't hear the beep?
No beep or nothing.
Nope, not working.
Check, 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 check. Does it work? Does it
Nope.
work? Oh, you can hear me.
I can hear you on the phone.
On the phone you can hear me, but you can't hear me on the radio. Ain't that something?
Nope.
Wow. Radio check, radio check. Is the battery dead yet? Nope, battery's not dead yet. It says it can go 5 days without being charged, so we're not going to charge it. Radio check. Does rapid radios even work when they say they work everywhere? It looks like not. Do you want to check? Radio check. That's the first time it's beeped in a long time, but I don't think it works. Okay, doing a radio check. It's been about an hour since this worked. Radio check, radio check. I have full cell service. Radio check. Check. Might work. And it might not. Ooh, look at this. That's a king snake. We're catching it. Oh. Look at that. Woo-hoo. That's a California king snake. Pretty cool. Pooped on me. I haven't seen one of these things in a long... Ow! He just bit me. Long time. All right. I don't know where he's gonna go, but isn't that cool? California king snake. All right, so it's been, I don't know, another hour or so. Still radio check, radio check, radio check. Still nothing. Let's check if our radio works here. It sure does. Checking, check, check. Surprise, surprised. Well, I do have cell service. Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Maybe not. Might have beeped, but no service. Rock. Look at these things. This is like where you'd find dinosaurs at. I'm parked over there. Ugh. Let me show you where I'm at. I'm looking for skinwalkers. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not sure if you can hear me with the wind, but didn't work. It beeped, but did not work. So, yeah. Story of my life is camping, trying to find a place to camp. It's 66 degrees outside per the vehicle temperature. It feels great. That's why I got the windows open, because I'm enjoying this cold breeze coming in here. Radio check. Still nothing. Check, check. Cattle. So I got a little more bars on my Verizon cell phone, so let's find out if it'll work yet. Radio check. Radio check. It's only because I got 3 bars on my Verizon. That's why. 10-4. Not the greatest, but I can hear you.
You're getting clear.
Only because I'm getting more into the open, so that obviously the cell towers could get the signal for this device. That's what it is. It's gotta have cells. It's gotta be within cell tower range. All right, it's 6:35. We're gonna do a radio check. Nothing. Radio check. I think I'm just doing some of this times for shits and giggles. Because this is shit, and I'm giggling about how much money people spend on this stuff. And you know, the sad thing is the people who they give it to do the testing are sitting behind a desk. That's the sad thing about it. They sit behind a desk and then they give a review for it. Okay, here we go. Before I call my cell phone, I'm gonna see if this works. Radio check. Radio check.
I can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, dang, about time. Utah. All right, so I am in Dixie National Forest. I know I have phone reception. I've talked to my wife quite a few times. I just didn't use this piece of crap here, but I'm just going to show you it works because we have phone reception out here, and that's the only reason why it works. Radio check. So just so you understand.
Check, I hear you.
See, we have phone reception. Only reason why it works. Phone reception. 10-4. I'm packed up and I'm going to be heading on the road and I don't know where I'm going yet.
Okay, be safe, be careful, love you.
Love you too. I will. So that is that is the downfall with this crap right here, is you have to have phone reception in order for this to work. So don't be fooled about all their hype on how this thing will get reception better than your cell phone, because it won't. And I'm gonna keep proving this as I keep traveling through all types of dense forestry, deserts, you name it. I'm gonna go through all kinds of stuff and test this. I'm gonna test it in locations I know for a fact there are no cell signals anywhere. So if that means no cell service, that means this radio will not work. So if your life's in danger, you're not gonna get no reception. Even if your cell towers go down and they say they will still work, no, they won't. No, they won't, because it needs to send a signal in order for it to work. And in the beginning of the video, I explained the whole thing, why it needs that whole cell service system, because it has a SIM card in it. All right, let's hit the road and let's test this piece of crap. Enjoy the view. Guess what time it is? Time for testing. So we're gonna test and find out if we got service back here in this back country of Zion. All right, so this is a radio check. And look, so here's the radio, and we're gonna do a radio check. Radio check. Radio check. We're doing a radio check. We're in Zion, driving through the canyon. Should work, right? Because this thing's supposed to work everywhere. Radio check. All right, we're doing a radio check. We went through Zion Canyon, and now we're in the Zion town, Springdale. So we're going to do a radio check. Radio check. And the reason why is we have full service.
Check, check.
So that's the only reason why it works. If there's no service, this doesn't work. Radio check.
I hear you loud and clear.
10-4.
Okay, guess what time it is? It's radio check time. You ready for this? Since we're in this canyon here. Ooh, radio check. I'll be damned.
I hear you.
All right, 10-4. Shocker. Howdy, howdy, ho. Been hiking for the last couple hours. We did a radio check earlier while we were down in this canyon here. So we were down in this canyon way back there. Whee, a little hole right there. So just giving a radio check. Can't even talk.
I hear you loud and clear.
10-4. Ooh, look at this. Cool. Here's my view. Okay, let's get back to the point. Radio test. Like I said, straight as a crow flies, there's an airport. Radio check.
Hello?
Yeah. Hello.
Are you testing?
Ah, it's not coming in very well. I'm testing. Is it working? Oh. We're testing the rapid radios. And I mentioned about 5 miles as straight as the crow flies is an airport. Radio check. Natural disaster, hurricanes, tornadoes, severe weather conditions, power outages. I got rapid radio to the rescue. Radio check. What do you think? What's happening? How am I going to get in contact? Oh, whoa. Did you hear that? Kind of breaks in and out. Lack of clear communication. The clarity of this is not very good. Can you hear me? So, what do you do? What do you do, Rapid Radio? We got a hurricane coming in. All the power is out around the town. Rapid Radio comes to the rescue. Oh no, it's not beeping no more. We're in trouble. We're in trouble. So just so you understand that where I'm at, there is no power outage or anything like that. But if there was a power outage, oh, this is cool. These wouldn't work anyways. But since there's no power outage, I got to go high up on this plateau so that I can get reception to a cell tower, okay? What? Did I say that right? You heard me say this so many times. But yes, I got to get high enough that the antenna to this little radio gets in contact with a cell tower. That's right. A cell tower that produces power. And that power produces a signal that transmits out to these radios. Looking to see if I see a cell tower in my vision here anywhere right now, and I don't see one. So I have an idea that it's over there by the airport. Okay, 10-4. I just wanted to make it cut out. It cut out. It cut out. Arr! I just wanted to make sure. That cut out again. See, it's still struggling to get communication. So how are they going to back this up when they're talking about hurricanes and tornadoes, and on their emails they're submitting out to everybody that hurry up, this is your only line of communication, is a rapid radio, but hey, just so you know, they won't work if the cell towers go down. Sorry, we forgot to tell you that after you purchased a whole bunch of them. Suckers! Okay, well, I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this right here, which is called WeBoost. I have that just in case I have no signal, which I have no signal because this doesn't work. Just so you know, it'll beep. I just got off the phone with my wife asking her, have you heard anything come through? You know, and she says, I hear beeping, but that's all that keeps coming through is the beeping. Here's the WeBoost right there. All right, and I got it hooked up to my small little Jackery. And the problem is that will constantly stay on and look for a signal so that it'll work. Well, I got no Verizon cell service, and I don't have any T-Mobile cell service. Well, I do now, because T-Mobile is a little stronger out here than Verizon is. So this don't work. Just so I'm going to show you, I'm going to test it right now. I'm testing, check. Let's see. So how can a company make a statement that if power goes out, the grid goes down, their radios will be working? Now, even if you're within 100 yards, will they be working? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm testing them. Look at what I'm making. Big juicy steak. I'm testing them miles apart, hundreds of miles. But I'm not hundreds of miles no more. But before, my furthest I went away was about 600 and something miles, 632, 36, something like that. I got nothing. I got nothing. So do not rely on this in an emergency, because it ain't gonna work. And I'm showing you right now a test. See, when it beeps like that quickly, not working. It's not working. Period. Test. And it's on a group setting. It's only my radios, my 2 radios, that's it. No one else can hear this other than the radios that I have. And I don't know how to mess with these things, and I'm not going to mess with them. I shouldn't have to. If they're programmed, like they did through Rapid Radios, they programmed them, and they send them to me. It took a while for me to get them. I didn't get them right away. It took quite a while for me to get them because they had to program them. They had to get the SIM cards, program the SIM cards, get the SIM cards programmed, and then they submitted it. That's how it works. Because they're not your basic walkie-talkie. They're not. They're a cell phone. They're a glorified cell phone. If you have no cell service, they're not going to work. Just remember that. We're not done. Tomorrow's the last day of my testing. 4 days, 4 days of testing is what I'm doing. 4 days. I'm doing 4 full days of testing. That should give you a freaking idea, even the concept of not wanting to purchase an item that doesn't work, because I've tested it from Las Vegas all the way to Flagstaff, through the mountains of Arizona to Utah, into Bryce Canyon, through Zion, and out into St. George and Hurricane. And here Hurricane, then St. George. I'm just outside of St. George. As you can see, the sun is setting behind me over here. There's an airport right over there, that's where the cell tower probably is at. And it can't even reach that cell tower for it to work. So it requires cell service. I've told you this before, in order for it to work. Radio check. Good morning. Look at that.
Radio check. Good morning.
There you go. Even Sasquatch behind me is saying, this is crap. You gotta wait for that beep to finish beeping to talk, but when it beeps again, that means there's no service. See? No service. It's crazy, right? So when I get up here on top of this hill, which I'm gonna show you from the GoPro footage on the hood of my vehicle, when I get to the top of this hill here, I'll have service again. It's gonna be crazy. Let's put it in. Let's put it in 4-wheel drive. I don't wanna. Then we'll put A-track on. Okay. Just because the road's kind of, which you'll see it. So now we're up here. Actually, one more hill. Let's see. All right, service is shoddy. I'll get better service on top of that hill up here.
I think you're
You can hear that? It's just in, out, in, out. Lack of signal. Right when we get up here, it'll work. Okay, ready? Here we go. All right, now I'm above the hillside, so I should have good service now.
Yes, now I can hear you loud and clear.
Ain't that something? Cell service is required. So this is a St. George radio check. If I can find my radio. I just threw it in here now, it's just worthless. So St. George radio check. Getting the radio check.
Check, I hear you.
Stand forward, thank you. Just getting the radio check.
I hear you.
10-4, thank you. You see that? That's the cell tower. That shows you that this radio will work. Radio check. Oh, maybe it's not the cell tower for this radio.
Radio check.
I hear you.
All right, so it didn't work at first. It had to jump onto its, I don't know what they call it, a repeater, not a repeater, but its service system in order for it to work. So it took a second, but that was a cell tower, just so you understand. That's what it needs in order to operate. All right, well, I am back in Vegas, hometown, and yeah, let's see if it works back in Las Vegas. So here we go. Let me get a radio check.
Loud and clear.
10-4. I'm about 10-4. I'm about 15 minutes out.
Okay, see you soon.
All right. Thanks for watching. I hope you like this review on these crappy radios.